Hi, I'm Sara Gutterman. I'm CEO of Green Builder Media, and I am here today with Ryan Kim, CEO of Phyn, and Bill Rectanus, COO of Thrive Home Builders, to talk about water. Water is arguably the most important topic of this moment. According to the World Resources Institute, 2/3 of the global population will live in water-stressed areas by 2025 as a result of climate change and population growth. Humans consume over 9 billion cubic meters of water per year, a number that is increasing by nearly 2% annually. And the leading offenders are China, India, and the United States, consuming about 1.2 billion cubic meters each year, respectively. In the built environment, water is the #1 prohibiting factor to growth, because if there's no water, there are no permits. And unfortunately, archaic laws sometimes stand in the way of common sense solutions within the built environment. But nonetheless, net zero water is now an attainable goal through the deployment of technologies and strategies that address conservation, monitoring, recycling, and environmentally appropriate discharging practices. With that said, exploding water tap fees have contributed to surging home prices and development delays in markets where hookup costs are exploding by up to 400% in certain markets across the U.S. And we're also seeing moratoriums in unlikely places like Bainbridge Island in Washington and in Florida because of depleted water sources. But fortunately, we've got really smart minds working on the water problem, and this water sector is experiencing substantial innovation and technological advances in areas like low-flow plumbing fixtures, gray water systems, smart irrigation systems, on-demand hot water recirculatory systems, and leak detection and water monitoring systems. And so I'd like to bring in Bill and Ryan into this conversation. Bill, let's start with you, because Thrive Home Builders, as a leading high-performance healthy home builder, is experiencing some issues, particularly related to water. Can you talk with us about those issues and maybe give some examples of how water as a kind of a challenge has hindered some of Thrive's development initiatives?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. We in the Western United States, water is becoming more and more of an important conversation. It's harder and harder to come by. We're seeing pretty significant changes in our area of the country, in the Front Range of Colorado, where we're getting a lot less precipitation each year, greater wildfires, and that all trickles down to water supply down in the Denver metro area. And there are some municipalities where it's much more difficult to secure the water or the water rights that you need to move into your next development. We have had those issues in developments where we've been under contract for land and simply haven't been able to secure the water rights due to a lack of water rights available on the market and just an exorbitant cost associated with getting those water rights and then figuring out the water rights that we purchased, how do I get that water to the community in a way that makes the community viable. And so it's definitely something here in Colorado in the Front Range that is on the front minds of many builders and developers.
Ryan, I am so happy to introduce you to our audience and to have the opportunity to talk with you about Phyn, because not only is Phyn producing pivotal solutions for leak detection and water management, which we're seeing a marked increase in interest and the actual purchase and adoption of these technologies, but you're also collecting great data on water usage and helping inform homeowners about their water usage so that they can make better decisions about how and when they use water. So can you talk to us a little bit about your solutions as well as the data that you're able to provide in a very useful way to homeowners?
Yeah, we started developing this technology just over 10 years ago. So there's over a decade of research and development behind the Phyn products. And we have a handful of devices, different solutions that monitor water usage in the home. In the case of our Phyn Plus, we just released our next generation, second generation of it. is able to also mitigate damage with a automated shutoff that gets installed on your main line. And what we're able to do from that one device is monitor all of the water usage in your entire plumbing system, detect any kind of anomalies, and alert you if there's a concern, automatically shut off if the system, the AI platform feels like there is imminent, catastrophic damage, while also monitoring your usage and itemizing it so that you can tell when a toilet flushes and how much water it's used and how long showers are being taken and how much water irrigation is taking. And we're able to help you educate and identify where water is being wasted.
Bill, back to you. I'm really happy to give a sneak peek that we are going to be launching soon a Vision House community in conjunction with Thrive called Saunders, that's in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I know that Thrive has made a decision to work with Phyn and incorporate this leak detection and water management technology into your homes. From a builder perspective, talk to us a little bit about why you've decided to specify these products for homes and what you're trying to offer homeowners and how it enhances the homeowner experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's three key buckets that we looked at when we looked at Phyn that I think the Phyn product really helps us address. And the first is water leaks, the potential of water leaks. We have pretty strict protocols that we go through when we're going through our home to make sure we don't have water leaks. But from time to time, accidents happen and there are water leaks. And water leaks are the most expensive warranty issue on the books, because when water starts leaking, you're talking drywall damage, trim damage, flooring damage. I mean, it can be pretty significant. And so, when those rare occurrences happen, if we have that backup mechanism that can help minimize that or stop that before significant damage occurs, it saves on warranty costs, which is important, but even more importantly, it protects our reputation with the buyer. It helps us solve what could otherwise have been a pretty significant issue with that buyer, and strengthens our relationship with that homeowner and helps us provide them something that's offering a level of protection, not only during the warranty period, but throughout the life of their home. The second thing is the Saunders community is a 55 plus targeted active adult community. And so we believe that there's potential for a lot of lock and leave residents in this community. And having that control over your water system, having that protection while you're away is a great benefit when you're looking at a lock and leave type home that you're living in. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, just the lack of water and water rights available on the Front Range. We get into a lot of conversations with municipalities about how much water we need to attribute to each home. And each water district has their own assessment, their own calculation that says for each home, you must have X amount of water rights allocated. What we'd really like to do and are looking forward to working with Phyn on is understanding how much benefit all the water conservation measures that we're putting into our homes, whether that's tankless water heaters, recirculating systems, low flow fixtures, and water sense certification that are all going to be part of this community. How much does that help us to be able to have a better conversation with the water district down the road to potentially move into the next phase or next filing and be able to attribute fewer water rights per home because we've demonstrated actual savings beyond the calculations that they have typically put in place for their district. So I would say those three things are the big things we're really excited about working with Phyn on.
And that actually dovetails very nicely into the next question, Ryan, that I have for you, which is, I know that Phyn has some data on overall water savings and just the enhancement of that homeowner experience. But so can you talk about those things as well as what Bill just discussed in terms of any programs that you have in place with water utilities or rebates or anything like that that Phyn has to offer that further helps homeowners?
We've done extensive studies in single-family residential to even restaurants in parts of the country, and what we're seeing is anywhere from 15%, and in some cases even up to 30% water savings with Phyn solutions installed. And that comes from a couple of different sources. One is, as Bill mentioned, leaks. I'll give you an example. A single toilet flapper leaking can waste up to 1,000 gallons of water per day. That seems unreal, but it's true. It's constantly leaking water through that flapper, and we have studies that show on the average about 1,000 gallons of water is wasted, and so that's on the sort of the higher end. And then you have the everyday kinds of things that people don't really think twice about. It's the kitchen faucet that's just left running while you're doing the dishes, and the outdoor spigots that's running, or the outdoor irrigation that is running into the streets. And those things all add up, and you do it every day, and every month. That's happening in millions of homes. And when we calculate that number, it's a tremendous amount of water being wasted. So we have the ability to identify all of those usage events and label them as either it was a shower and it's normal, or it was a shower and it's abnormal, or there is an unknown abnormal event. And all of those things through our highly rated app educates consumers, homeowners around their daily habits and how they can save water and save money through the process. Preventing leaks is a big deal, but the cost of water is rising everywhere. As an example, LADWP recently announced that in the tier 3, we have a tiered system out here, and in a tier 3 water usage scenario, rates may go up 110% in tier 3 because we're in such a state of drought. And because of that, utilities throughout the country are jumping in, recognizing the value that Phyn solutions and solutions like this can solve for. 15% is a tremendous amount of water, and that's on the lower end. And on the higher end, 30% is significant. And so I'll give you an example. Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, MWD. It's the largest wholesale water distributor in the country. They directly or indirectly service up to 19 million homes. And they today provide a $100 rebate if you install a Phyn Plus. Santa Fe has a similar rebate program. In fact, in Santa Fe, if you're a restaurant and you want to install a Phyn Plus, they'll rebate you up to $300. The Orlando Utilities Commission recently enacted a $100 rebate as well. So Southern Nevada Water also has it. It's starting to become a spread much quicker, where utilities are benefiting from this. And it's not just utilities. Insurance companies also recognize the benefit of preventing water-related disasters. It's the second highest claim source in the insurance industry for homeowners. And so they recognize it. And the vast majority of insurance companies also provide up to 15% rebates on your premiums. And in conjunction with the utilities and insurance companies, Phyn offers certain partnership-based upfront discounts as well.
Very interesting. Thanks, Ryan. I want to talk a little bit about codes and mandates. We're starting to see more kind of net zero water impact mandates in certain municipalities. And Ryan, you mentioned a few markets that certainly we're watching right now. Santa Fe has the lowest per capita water usage per day at about 86 gallons per person per day. Las Vegas is a little bit over 100 gallons per person per day. But California just implemented a mandate in certain markets that residents have to be at 55 gallons per person per day. And if you think about that, a 10-minute shower uses about 25 gallons. And that's half of your daily water usage. I mean, clearly we have to solve for water. So Bill, let me ask you first, are you seeing any codes along the Front Range where Thrive builds that is, are really going to impact the way that we think about how we build and design homes and, how we approach kind of the built environment with respect to to water? And if you don't see anything right now, do you see anything that's kind of pending or in process?
I'm not seeing a whole bunch of building code specific changes related directly to water. I am seeing different water districts really starting to experiment with things like gray water systems and doing studies and leak detection systems and seeing how much savings are associated with that and discussing the opportunity for potential rebates or tax fee reductions for builders and homeowners that use these types of equipment. I'm not aware of any that are officially in place yet in this market. Where I am seeing some regulations around water is in exterior landscaping and irrigation. There are municipalities that are requiring gray water usage, recycled water usage for exterior landscaping, certain types of plant species, certain types of irrigation. Exterior irrigation in Colorado is a big user of water, obviously. And so that's where I'm seeing some of the local municipal regulations in the zoning code and stuff like that, but not in the specific building code as of yet. But it is becoming more and more of an issue, and certain municipalities have a much greater problem with water than others on the Front Range. Some have done really well at securing future water supplies and making sure that they have the water available for the current residents and growth within their municipalities, and some don't. And so those that don't, you're seeing water rates go up, you're seeing more attention to this issue. And so I expect it to really evolve quickly over the short term.
So Ryan, I like to think about Phyn as a leak detection and water management technology provider, but really more as a water solutions company. So with that in mind, what's next for Phyn? How does Phyn evolve? Certainly, growing awareness and adoption of your current products, but talk to us a little bit, if you can, about future use cases and innovation that you're working on.
Sure. Phyn, from the day we started Phyn, we came up with a three pillars of what we were going to be, how we were going to help. And it starts with protect, which is really leak detection and saving money for homeowners, and going into conserve, and then finally getting into the enhanced realm. And we have been following that ever since inception. And we believe today that we have the best technology, the best user experience, really the best solution around protect. And as we head into conserve and enhance, we're looking at other opportunities beyond just how much water is being used, but reading insights into that water usage. As human beings, one of the first things we do when we wake up in the morning is we use water. I'm sure if you think about your morning routine today, that's exactly what you did. One of the last things we will do before we go to bed is we will use water. And throughout the day, if we're residing in a specific area, we're using water. Take the Saunders community as an example in that 55 plus active individuals. As we get older, we tend to stay at home more. And if we read into our health and wellness inside of a home, water usage and being able to track and monitor that water usage and look for changes in usage patterns around that water behavior is a leading indicator of potentially failing health. If the toilet is being flushed, on average every 2 or 3 hours, and a cycle is missed, or maybe even 2 cycles is missed, that's an indication that maybe something's wrong. If showers are less frequently used, that might be an indication. If a shower's running for too long, that might be an indication. Our intake of water, drinking water, is reflected, and we can identify that kind of usage. So as we look at how do we enhance our lives with our solutions, our AI capabilities, all of the data around behavior and water usage that we have, how do we enhance our lives to not just protect the home, but also protect the people that are living in it? And as we look towards that, we think there's a huge amount of benefit that we can provide to the health and wellness segment.
So last question for both of you. Bill, anything else you want to say about the topic of water? Saunders or Phyn?
Thrive Home Builders has really been focused on energy and health over the years, and we continue to be focused on that. And I think we're really excited to step into the Saunders community and with a partnership of Phyn, really focus on water at a higher level. As I mentioned earlier, just the drought we're experiencing in the West, the forest fires, the lack of available water for development, it's a big issue, and it's going to get nothing but worse. And so we're really excited to be on the forefront of looking at that and partnering with companies like Phyn to try and find solutions that work both for the homeowner, the municipal water district, and the builder, so that we can have a high quality of life here in the Front Range, even with some challenges in the ability to find and procure water moving forward.
Ryan, how about you? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think I echo Bill's sentiment in water is going to be continually scarce, especially in the Western. Some places are going to get inundated with water with the global climate change continuing to roll through. Lots of places are going to be in drought-stricken areas. And I think both the depth of the drought is going to increase, and the spread of the drought is also going to increase. And, awareness around water, the need to conserve water is only going to grow. And I want to thank Bill and the rest of the folks at Thrive for, being the innovators that they are, looking ahead, recognizing the value, the challenge and the opportunity, and innovating and working with us to not only just spread the word, but actually execute and implement these solutions that are going to be critical in the future.
Wonderful. Well, Bill and Ryan, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. We are so excited to have the opportunity to work with Thrive and with Phyn to showcase these innovative water solutions and technologies in a community where we really know it will make a big difference. So thanks for your partnership, and look forward to great things ahead.